We're back with the Mr. Matty Balls, the dark truth of the ghostwriter industry. I've seen this video pop up on my feed so many times, and I was like, fuck it, it's time to react to it because I want to watch it. So we're gonna watch it.
How would you feel if you were listening to one of your favorite songs by one of your favorite artists where the lyrics really connect to you, and then you found out that they didn't even write the song? Well, the reality
I would feel like, damn, well, whoever wrote this shit, they know what I'm going through, but probably not the artist. I don't know. I always thought it was kind of cool. Like, if you can't make it, like, say you rap really well. There's this one guy, Montana 300. He raps really well, has great songs, great shit like that, but nobody likes him, right? So several times in the songs, he's like, "Oh, if you need a ghostwriter, hit me up." And I'm like, the dude has fucking fire lyrics. So if he became a ghostwriter, I would not be upset. I feel like if you can't make it successfully in fame, fuck it, be a ghostwriter. Give your bars to somebody else and just get that check.
reality is the majority of your favorite artists may not be writing their songs. And after what I heard
Probably
from a
not.
ghostwriter,
How many big YouTubers do you know that don't edit their own videos? A lot of them don't because it takes time. It's time consuming. You got a lot of stuff to do. Some artists just don't got time to write their own lyrics. It is what it is.
interviewed, the majority of your favorite DJs and producers may not even be making their own beats.
Probably
and in this
not.
video, you may come to find out the truth about your favorite artists and see firsthand just how deep the ghostwriter industry actually is.
Your favorite YouTuber, Matty Balls, he's not editing his own video. What?
When you think of a ghostwriter, your mind may shoot to well-known people who have written songs for other artists, whether it be Benny Blanco writing on moves like Jagger from Maroon 5, Joey Badass writing on Rockstar for Post Malone, or BB Rexa writing on The Monster for Rihanna. But all these artist names are attached
Really? Shout out Baby Rexa. I didn't know she did that.
to the
That's
songs
crazy.
in one way or another. You can easily go to genius.com and find their names in the credits. I also want to mention that a lot of times if a sample is used, all the artists involved in the sample will be credited as writers on the new song. So that's why some songs will have a ton of different writers even if it was just one. And writing songs for other artists is actually commonplace in the music industry. An interesting example of this is when Tyler the Creator said he actually wrote Earthquake for Justin Bieber in 2017, but he didn't take it. So he tried giving it to Rihanna, but she didn't take it. So Tyler
she didn't take it. She didn't respond. That's different.
released it and it became one of his biggest songs.
You were saying then that you were kind of mucking around trying to find reasons to write for people and see what would
Yeah. I
land.
wanted to just write pop songs.
And then it wasn't even he wanted to give the song to Justin Bieber. Well, from what I heard, he made the song and he wanted Justin Bieber on it, and he didn't get back to him in time. And he was like, maybe Rihanna can get on it. And then Rihanna just didn't respond. Her team didn't respond.
For people, so I kind of did that.
But when I say ghostwriter, I mean a ghost writer. Someone who is writing for these artists with zero credit and none of the fans know that they wrote it. Of course, this definition can get a little murky with different situations, but in general, that's what I mean. And this is actually a very common occurrence in the music industry. It just isn't regularly talked about because of legal issues, contracts, and major labels. I'll get into how it works in just a second, but I do want to mention that this has been going on for a long time and it's definitely not anything new. Back in the 1700s, even Mozart ghost wrote for people. He was paid to ghostwrite music for wealthy people who wanted to look as if they were talented composers themselves. Another example could be Frank Sinatra, who didn't write the majority of his songs.
What? Frank Sinatra? I fucking love Frank. But it is what it is. I still enjoy the music.
Michael Jackson, Britney Spears,
Michael Jackson didn't write his own shit. Damn.
Elvis Presley,
Well, Elvis stole from fucking black culture. I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
Elton John,
Elton John, too? God, come on, man.
Ariana Grande,
Of course.
even Flight Reacts, and
Flight Reacts, you ain't nothing but a broke boy, 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 boy. Somebody else wrote that shit?
many more have all used writers. The fact that we know that they did it, though, means that these aren't true ghost writers, but I'm willing to bet that many of these artists have dabbled in the use of real ghostwriters as well. The practice of ghostwriting has persisted throughout the entire lifespan of the music industry. If I had to guess, though, it's probably become a lot more common recently because of major labels and their vast resources. Many people in the music industry believe that the majority of popular artists use ghostwriters. You also may be wondering why people hire ghostwriters in the first place, and it could be for a variety of different reasons. I've been saying this for a while now, but I think writing is a very underrated skill when it comes to music. Good writing can make or break a song. song. Not too often do you come across an artist that can write something intricate and thoughtful, all while making you feel something. You may be a great singer or great
and be able to perform it well. That's the other side of the ghostwriting. These ghostwriters are very talented with writing, but when they perform it, it just doesn't hit the same as if a Justin Bieber performed it, or a Elton John, or a Michael Jackson. Like, you make a song, you're like, wow, this is really good. You try and sing it, it sounds like ass. But you send it over to Michael Jackson, you get a couple million, and he sings the shit, and you're like, wow, I can never be this fucking good. It works. Your art's out there, you get the bag. The only issue is you're not performing it. It is what it is.
at delivering a verse, but you may not be the greatest at coming up with lyrics, so then you hire a ghostwriter. One pop music manager even said, "I saw a pop star on TV once going, 'I'm writing my new album.' And I just thought, you stupid fool. You're a decent pop star, but you're not a writer." Also, ghostwriting isn't something that's just unique to music. It's probably just as common, if not more common.
Exactly, bro. Ghostwriters, content editors, line editors, proofreaders, copy editors, writer. Like, yes, bro. Yes. It is what it is. It's acting, right?
In other industries. In fact, if you were to go Google ghostwriting right now, the majority of what pops up first isn't music related at all. A lot of ghostwriters will write books for authors, jokes for comedians, speeches for politicians.
Well, no shit. I don't think any politician is really saying what they think. That's not how this shit works. There's no, they're in positions of power. You can't just have that one person saying whatever they want. Unless you're Donald Trump, I guess. That man said whatever the fuck he wanted.
A lot of ghostwriters will write books for authors.
Writing stories for authors, I think, is totally normal if the what's being written is like a spinoff or a sub-series. But a continuation, I think, is a little weird because the original story came from this one mind. So I don't really think you could like go beyond that. Like, oh, say in the first book, a character gets a power. Okay, so what do we do with this power in the second book? The person that came up with the idea for the power should be the one to try and figure out what to do next with it. I mean, there should be a reason why they gave him the power in the first place. But at the same time, you think of Star Wars, a lot of good stories have came out besides from George Lucas. And I found out recently George Lucas, he came up with Star Wars, but a lot of it was other people's help and he just took the credit. Right? So I didn't need once I found that out, I was like, wow. But at the same time, a lot of new stuff has come out from Star Wars that's absolutely terrible, and it didn't come from the original author. So it could be good, it could be bad.
Jokes for comedians.
Writing jokes for comedians, I can totally understand once you get to a certain point in your career. Like, you start off, you just making jokes for the fun of it. You might be saying like swear words or words that are offensive to people. And then once you get to a higher status, now you're on public television. Now, basically, you turn into Kevin Hart, right? You're on movies, public television. You got your own specials. You got commercials, ad deals. At some point, it cannot be just you making these jokes. Someone has to go over your joke and like, oh, this is offensive. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is this. And then it's like, well, what the fuck? How can I come up with this joke? Well, we have Eddie here who's been doing this industry joke writing for 10 years now. He can help you go through it and figure out what's funny, come to an even round. So that makes sense as well, especially with jokes. Like, comedy changes a lot. Stuff that was funny. Dude, there is no way you could play Bernie Mac nowadays in front of a public audience. Not Bernie Mac fans, a public audience, and have everybody laugh at the same shit. It's not happening. Jokes change.
Speeches for
Rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
politicians, and much more. The Wikipedia definition is someone who is hired to write literary or journalistic works, speeches, or other texts that are officially credited to another person as the author. Even actual artists use ghostwriters as well. Andy Warhol, for example, would supervise others who would assist him in creating his art. But forget about all that because today we're going to be focusing on the music.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
Maddie's about to get taken out by somebody.
Oh, how does ghostwriting even work? What typically happens is labels will reach out to smaller artists and either ask to purchase an existing song or ask them to create a new song. Then the label will purchase the rights to the song, paying the artist however much they find appropriate. It's likely that a lot of the time they even make the ghostwriter sign an NDA. A label executive that Vice interviewed by the name of Chris Anakute, who works with artists like Katy Perry and Rihanna, said, "How it works is that we just pay you out for the songs and we own the rights. Once the label owns the rights, they can credit however they please, so typically
they don't.
The writer will not be credited." Then typically ghostwriters will send out demos or reference tracks for the artist so they can hear what the ghostwriter is going for. Demo tracks and reference tracks are also very common in the music industry because you can't just send someone lyrics and expect them to know how they're supposed to sound on top of an instrument.
Sumalama, Dumalama, you assuming I'm a human.
For example, earlier this year, we even saw a leak for Kendrick Lamar's reference track for Baby Keem.
My mama mad at me, I know I fucked up big. My girl mad at me, I know I fucked up big. What's love? I guess I never.
Are we allowed to play this shit?
Some fans were upset about this as if Kendrick was doing some terrible thing, but it happens all the time in the music industry, they just weren't aware of it. In 2019, Lupe Fiasco actually took to social media to call out Atlantic Records for trying to make him use ghostwriters. Lupe said, "Atlantic is so filthy with the shit that they would turn around and have a team of writers, a team of producers waiting for you. So once you go through the meeting, they strip away all your esteem, they strip away all your confidence in your own work. They got whole songs waiting on you, they even got their raps waiting on you."
And this is the bad part, right? I'm totally down with the artist comes up with something, the industry looks at it and they're like, we should tweak this and that. And then the artist still, at the end of the day, the artist really has to either accept that or say, no, I think we should go with my idea. And if the industry is like, okay, we'll go with yours. That's the perfect scenario. Another one like this is, hey, we got the artist comes into the meeting. All right, so we got these songs for you. We just need you to perform them. And that's about it. That's when it's a big issue, because what's the whole point of having this artist? Is it just their figure, like who they are as a public person? It's like you could have gave this shit to anybody. Fucking Joe the janitor could have sung this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I draw the line.
And this just goes to show how common ghostwriting is in the music industry. It's so common that a label will have an entire team ready for the artist. And to be fair, it does make sense since labels are businesses and businesses want to keep growing and making a profit. So I doubt that the label really cares about the authenticity of the art. Ghostwriting is also a real job too. A rapper by the name of Skills says that he has worked on hundreds of projects and listens through the discographies of artists he writes for so he doesn't end up repeating anything. MF Grimm, a collaborator of MF Doom, says he used to ghostwrite for many artists in the 90s and said he charged $1,000 per bar. Forbes was actually able to interview a few anonymous ghostwriters,
he was making bank.
and they said that on average, ghostwriters charge anyone from the thousands to the tens of thousands depending on how large the project is and who they're working for. However, ghostwriters don't earn any royalties on these songs, so that's what's...
damn. So yeah, it has to be big bag up front. You're not earning no royalty. I charge you $10,000 for a song. Next thing you know, that song has 1 billion plays. I ain't earning a cent from those plays. Fuck, bro. Like, nah, I need to make that. I need the big bag in my face.
kind of risky about it because if the song ends up becoming a hit, you're usually not going to make any extra money. Of course, I'm generalizing and all contracts and agreements are going to be different, but this is usually how it works. There are also tons of YouTube videos and articles on how to become a ghostwriter in the music industry, which a lot of people will do just to get their foot in the door. For example, Frank Ocean worked his way into the industry writing for artists like John Legend, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, and more in his early career. But as I'm sure you can imagine, many legal disputes can arise from ghostwriting as well. Skills, who I mentioned earlier, actually put out a song called Ghostwriter where he exposed people who didn't pay him for writing their songs.
A ghostwriter is a person that writes records for other motherfuckers. I wrote some records for some
on the Henny
motherfuckers, but guess what, Denver? They ain't pay me my motherfucking money, man. Ain't that fucked up?
But then again, maybe they paid him, but they didn't pay him what he thought he should have earned. We always got to have two sides of the stories, ladies and gentlemen. But for this, let's pretend they didn't pay him. Fuck them.
First of all, I didn't want to make this shit. It's a lot of rap niggas out here faking this shit. I'm a ghostwriter. I'm the cat you don't see. I write hits for rappers you like and charge them a fee. Don't get me wrong, dog. It's a cheddar that counts. But fuck Puff Daddy, cause this fucking check bounced.
Ooh, shit.
label made him censor the song since he probably signed an NDA, but in this live performance, he name dropped Puff Daddy, Jermaine Dupri, Will Smith, and more. Maybe one day
Fuck it.
we'll get to hear the uncensored version and
Like, why is Will Smith still rapping?
see who else he wrote for. There was even a ghostwriter that had the balls to sue a record label. A ghostwriter by the name of Daryl Newdorf sued Sarah McLachlan and her label Network Productions after some of the songs he wrote became hits, so he claimed that he wasn't paid adequately, and the judge ruled in his favor for the payment.
Oh shit. I was gonna say, well, didn't you sign for that? But okay, fuck, never mind.
Another super crazy and arguably worse occurrence in the music industry is ghost producing. There are actually artists and labels that will purchase the rights to someone's instrumental and market it as if it's their own. And believe it or not, this actually happens all the time with DJs, producers, and many more artists throughout the music industry. Ano Kute, the guy who I mentioned earlier, said that he knows one huge DJ who is particularly shameless and he doesn't even know how to operate the equipment. Apparently, this DJ will have 3 to 5 ghost producers in the studio doing all of the work and will take all of the rights while paying the actual artist $5,000 per track. He gets the credit because he's the face, the DJ, the brand. That sounds awfully similar to one DJ we all know and love. I'm not
Hey. Maddie, hey, chill, dog. We look, I was picturing it. You don't gotta put the picture on screen, bro. I don't need no lawsuits coming to you and nothing like that. Fuck that shit. Let it ride.
I'm not saying it's him for sure, but it definitely could be. Who knows? For this video, I was actually able to speak to an artist who's been reached out to by labels to ghost produce for, and they said it went something like this. They knew me as a producer as well as an artist, and I was being approached by a fellow producer who has worked with multiple actual big artists. I'm talking about Grammy Award-winning artists. They had their own smaller label that was under the umbrella of a very large, well-known label. What their job was is to create/write beats for bigger artists in mind. They would send those beats to those artists under the larger label and get deals for said beats. These deals could be 20K plus, type buyouts, or deals with residuals, etc. They told me that labels will sign producers all the time for them to work regularly or occasionally, and that there's a wide variety of deals available. With that situation I was in specifically, I was given a list of artists under said major label that either needed beats, songs, which means songs that were written on said beats, ghostwriting, or more. These artists could be as big as someone like Justin Bieber to someone I've never heard of that was signed early in their career. Just like you will find type beats on YouTube, you basically were tasked to make beats tailored to that certain artist's style or genre in hopes to get a deal on the track. They also told me on the list that they were given that there would be DJs and producers who you would assume made their own beats. Although it's possible that some of these DJs and producers were rearranging things, it's also possible they weren't. So your favorite big name DJs and producers may not actually be making their own instrumentals.
A lot of people ask me, like, dang, what have you worked on?
Damn, that kind of makes me think, bro. There's this guy on YouTube. Whenever a brand new song comes out, he did Mask Off, right? And he was like, "This is how you make the beat to Mask Off." And he literally made that shit. He was like, "Oh, if you listen really closely, you can hear this do 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 in the background." I ain't never heard, notice that shit ever. And this video came out, bro. I'm telling you, this video came out like days after the original song came out. And he already figured out how to make the song. Like, either he's super skilled and genius, or maybe he made the beat. Send it to Future and Drake. They send the check to him, and he's like, well, shit. I'll just remake the beat again and put it on YouTube. Now I'm making money from YouTube, and I got the check from Future. I'm just saying, that's a big fucking brain idea. It's something I would fucking do if I'm trying to get the bag. I'll make a song, send it to somebody. I'm not credited, whatever. But hey, I still made the motherfucker. YouTube, hey, what's up? This is how you make the song. Upload, millions of views, money coming in from YouTube. The song is out there. People, other labels, they see it. They're like, oh, he knows how to make this type of beat. He knows how to make this type of song. They reach out to me. I make a song for them. Hey, this is how you make the song from here. And then it just keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps going.
And if you ask me what I've worked on, I'll tell you that I produced for Akon, T-Pain, Kanye West, Neo, Sean Paul, Pitbull, Flo Rida, 3-6 Mafia, Nelly. But if you actually look up those songs that I can tell you that I produced, you won't find my name on any of those songs. So a lot of times you'll be like, either he's lying or something is going on that we don't know about.
What's even shadier is that there are websites like EDM Ghost Producer that sell songs that other artists can just take credit for. This was and still is a very big controversy, especially in the EDM community. One website that has since been shut down, called Producer Factory, said on their front page, "Producer Factory is a newly developed idea that allows you to purchase any tracks on this site exclusively and sell it as your own. Create a new professional image or just rise above the rest with our high quality productions by well-known artists."
Look, what's so wrong about this? Because the artist that you like didn't originally make it? It's EDM. It's dance music. Why the fuck do you care who made it? It's there's no lyrics in the shit. There's no soul. I'm not saying there's no soul, but I'm trying to say, if somebody made a song and they were singing and you're like, wow, these lyrics really come to me. I don't see that for EDM specifically. Like, sure, there are fucking dubstep songs that make me feel a type of way as well, but a lot of it is like stuff that make you dance, make you feel good. What's the difference between this song making you feel good, made by Marshmello, and this song that makes you feel good that was made by fucking Skrillex? You can see how I don't know shit about EDM, but still, like, and oh, it turns out they got this from a beat making from some factory that makes beats and stuff. Okay, what's the difference between me going to the store buying a bunch of Dr. Peppers and then selling them at school for a higher price than if you were to just go to the store and get the Dr. Peppers yourself? I mean, I don't know.
We offer nothing less than the best and assure your fans' approval. So with websites like these and major labels purchasing power, imagine how many producers and DJs are just buying beats off of these websites and marketing it as their own. A situation that brought a ton of attention to the ghostwriting industry was when Meek Mill
Shout out to Matty Balls for putting the fucking L theme from Death Note.
called out Drake for using ghostwriters. Meek tweeted, "Stop comparing Drake to me too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweet my album, because we found out." After this, the blogs went crazy and everyone was talking about ghostwriters. Then people found out that the rapper Quentin Miller was helping Drake write his songs, and they even leaked reference tracks for songs like 10 Bands.
I can tell you how it happened. I can tell you about them safe house nights out in Calabasas. I can tell you not a rapper. You niggas selling swag. I ain't gotta open up the pack.
Apparently, someone from Drake's camp sent the song to Funk Flex and said that Drake was paying Quentin Miller $5,000 a month to help work on his album. If you're reading this, it's too late. But this wasn't completely ghostwriting, as Quentin Miller was discreetly credited throughout the album. However, this situation brought the ghostwriting industry to the forefront of the conversation, especially in the rap community. Everyone was hating on Drake for using ghostwriters and wondering what other rappers may be misleading fans about their writing abilities. A report by BBC even claimed that 40% of all rap lyrics are ghostwritten, although I'm not sure how accurate that.
Bro, that's just a random ass percentage just thrown out there. How the hell would they know 40%? Like, that's just a random percentage thrown out there. So let's put out something that's a lot, but less than half, so we don't get in trouble. 40. Come on now.
Number is. Other songwriters that Forbes interviewed believe that the vast majority of rappers get input from penmen, whether it's credited or under the mixing table. But if ghostwriting is such a common occurrence in the music industry, why is it so frowned upon when rappers do it? If every other large rock and pop artist can use a ghostwriter, why can't Drake? Well, I think the reason that people care so much when it comes to rap is because one of the most important things about rapping is the lyrics. But the debate has the entire industry divided.
If I ever need a ghostwriter, I need to just fucking put the mic down. Anybody out here that does use ghostwriters, that's fine. If that's what you do, that's fine.
People think that since rapping is traditionally about poetry and storytelling, that it should be.
You should be telling the story of your life. But what happens when that's no longer your life? We crave for the days of Eminem talking about struggling and becoming the best and going to the top. Well, Eminem is at the top. How many songs do you need from Eminem talking about, I'm the best rapper alive, I'm the rap god, I'm the king of rap, I'm this and that, fuck mumble rap, I'm the best? How many songs of that can you really take? And I'm talking to real people here, not just Eminem stans that eats every piece of thing that comes out of Eminem's ass. I'm talking about real people that actually can sit and just think like, Ain't this the same shit I've heard like 5, 6, 7 times? Same thing. But you can say the same thing about mumble rap, right? They rapping about drugs, guns, and girls. It's the same shit. It's the same shit, just a little different. Different hook, different beat. What else is there to talk about? What else can you really make if you're an underground artist and you're talking about, oh, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I can't wait to become the best, and you do become the best, and you start making millions of dollars a month, can you really rap about how I'm still hungry, how I ain't got shit no more? Well, you got shit now. Why you still talking about shit you didn't have? You got it now. You move forward. Like, you can only do so much once you get to a certain level. There has to be somebody else to write because being broke, you're used to that. You could talk about stories about how you were broke as shit. What happens after you got money? This is the first time you've ever had money, and you've said every story there is about when you were broke 5 years ago. You're no longer broke. Why are you still rapping about being broke? You haven't been broke for a long time, but being rich is new to you. So you don't have that much experience. You can't really rap about being rich unless you come off braggadocious. And then other people are like, oh, wow, he's fucking talking about how much money he got, how many cars he got. Oh, I wish he would go back to the old days. He's not in the old days no more. What can he really rap about? So that's when you start hiring other people to write about some shit. Because it's just like, what the fuck do I write about now? At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Authentic and come from the heart, especially if the song is talking about life experiences like many rap songs do. I think we would all be a little bit disappointed if we found out that Kendrick wasn't writing the majority of his thought-provoking and emotional lyrics. Of course, other people have different opinions on this as well, such as Chuck D from Public Enemy, who said, not everyone is equipped to be a lyricist and not everyone is equipped to be a vocalist. Vice interviewed a man by the name of Alex King who works for a company called Precision Writtens, a professional ghostwriting agency that specializes in hip-hop, and he told Vice, dumb people can argue all day about whether or not ghostwriting is right or wrong because it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that ghostwriting is the future of hip-hop because either you get a skilled team of writers behind you or you get run over by another MC who does.
Damn. And that's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, right? Because the dumb people can argue about ghostwriting, whatever. I don't care about that. It's the second part that I care about. Either you get a skilled team of writers behind you, or you get run over by other people who do have a skilled team of writers, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to the fan base, right? Because if you just have a skilled team of writers and you just make music that are hits and you don't really have a core fan base, unless you get as big as Drake, where people can talk shit about you and nobody liked your music publicly, everybody's like, oh, this Drake stuff is terrible, whatever. And at the same time, Drake is still selling out, still making millions, if not billions, regardless of what he dropped. Unless you get to that level, that's I don't think that's true because you're gonna need a fan base to carry you. One of my favorite rappers out right now, Mike Dimes. Mike Dimes is an amazing lyricist, amazing artist. I love his music, right? But there is no way in hell Mike Dimes would ever succeed if he just started getting ghostwriters. Like he might succeed to a certain extent, but if after it comes out, oh, Mike Dimes has ghostwriters, a lot of people, his core fan base, probably not gonna fuck with him no more. Me, I'm not gonna mind, like whatever. As long as the music's fucking good, it's all right, it's fine, whatever. But for the core fan base, if they leave, sure, you might get big off the current fans, whatever, the current generation. But as soon as they move on to the hot new fucking industry, whatever, your core fan base is gone. You don't have nothing left. You're gonna be a little pump, a little YBN Namir. Like nobody's gonna really care about what you have to put out unless they're like die hard, like they are your fan, like core ground what like Eminem stands. Like whatever comes out of Eminem, they love it. Oh, lyrical spiritual, it's the best shit ever, right? So it honestly for this comment right here, it has me a little torn because unless you're trying to be Drake, you can just pull out whatever. I don't think it's really gonna work for you. Like it'll work for probably like 5 years, but after that, they gonna move on to somebody else, or they might start going behind somebody else, like a Jack Harlow or somebody that's coming up. That's like, oh, I resonate with him more than I resonate with you. Even though y'all both got ghostwriters, I like him more. Maybe he looked better. Maybe his clothes are better. I don't know. Maybe he sounds better. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I don't really think this holds that much weight for longevity. Probably in like 3 years, but at that point, I mean, hopefully you saving up your money because the well gonna run out, and hopefully you invested in some stocks or some shit to keep you afloat. Because I don't know, I don't think the music shit will really hold you if you have to have these teams because these teams ain't free either. You're gonna have to pay for these ghostwriters and this skilled team of writers. These motherfuckers apparently getting $10,000 a fucking song or $1,000 a bar. That's coming out your check, especially if you an industry and you took out and you got a bonus. That's just a loan. You got to pay that shit off. So I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think about it?
Now, I personally disagree with this statement, but I can guarantee that there's plenty of other people in the industry that agree with it, especially higher ups at record labels. So after all this, it raises the age-old question: is
Well, of course, higher ups would agree with that because they have money. They don't really give a fuck about the art. They just want the profit.
ghostwriting bad?
Is it bad? Is ghost writing bad? If you have to say you go with all of it or none of it, ghostwriting is bad. If you can say some of it's good, some of it's bad, then ghostwriting is not bad. I would say ghostwriting is not bad if, say, you're writing a record and then, say, Snoop Dogg comes in and he's like, man, this shit fire, cuz. Oh, you should put a little here, this, there. And then you try it out and you're like, damn, that was good. Does that, come on now, is that ghostwriting? Does that count? Ghost producing? Sorry, because that would be ghost producing. But if you writing some shit and you rapping it, and then your homeboy come in and he's like, "Bro, you should switch that word with that word," and then you do it, and you're like, "Damn, okay, this does. What about this and this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, change this, keep this, change this," and then you go in, and then it becomes a hit. Does that count as ghostwriting? Because if it does, I don't think that's a bad thing. But then again, somebody else's input helped make your project potentially better. So I don't know. I would say ghostwriting is not bad, but if you had to say take it or leave it, ghostwriting is bad or it's not bad, then yeah, sure, ghostwriting is bad.
At the end of the day, that's for you to decide. Me personally, I was heartbroken when I found out Flight didn't even write Disingenuous.
Peeing on my shit, so I had to fall back. Hairy ass bitch like my fucking ball sack. I was down on my dick. Where the fuck was you?
Seeing as how common ghostwriting is in the music industry, it's very likely that some of your favorite songs and my favorite songs are ghostwritten. Maybe even our favorite instrumentals are ghost produced. Who knows? But ignorance is bliss, so I'm just going to keep on enjoying my music.
Exactly. Ignorance is bliss, baby. Good excuse me. Good video, Batty. Good video. I'm glad I finally watched it. 11,000 views, bro. Y'all tripping on the boy. Get this. This video needs to be 100K in a month. If it ain't, I ain't gonna do nothing about it. Anyways, this is your boy Miss Conversation. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.